It was a dog day afternoon in August of 1933. I was trailing a slug of a bail bondsman named Eddie Monroe, who owed me $3,000 on a favor I did for him back in Des Moines. Anyway, my sources in Iowa told me he was holed up somewhere in Tucson. They said he hung out at a well-known gangland saloon on the outskirts of town called Harker's Hideaway. I headed out there and parked my DeSoto around the corner from the bar. It was a shabby place surrounded by dust and cactus. The heat was turning my attitude into boiled cabbage. The inside wasn't much more inviting. I walked in and ordered a beer at the bar and sat down at a table in the corner near the door. I didn't see Monroe there, but it was still early, so I thought I'd hang around for a while and soak up some of the local color. Papa Harker, a notorious gambler, forger, and con artist, fosters this secluded little hideaway in the desert. He has been confined to a wheelchair after a shootout with Illinois State Police in 1929 during a failed escape attempt. He had just forged $2 million worth of bearer bonds and stole the police commissioner's car. Papa Harker was apparently getting ready to host a high-stakes poker game with some rather unsavory acquaintances. As always, Harker was accompanied by his right-hand man, a washed-up prize-fighter from Scotland named Angus McTavish. He did 10 years in Terre Haute for killing a man at Madison Square Gardens with one punch. The Hideaway's bar was manned by a shifty-eyed pickpocket from Albuquerque named Skinny Malone. Had an eye for the ladies and a penchant for strychnine cocktails. The Hideaway did offer some entertainment, at least. This was supplied by a retired black widow from Chicago, known only as Moms. She was the kind of woman who could slap you in the mouth like the slug from a .45. Moms employed a few less than angelic women who were affectionately known as the Girls. Loretta Lavon, Vanessa Vavoom, and Trouble. 3 ex-cons from Schenectady who used to partner up and rob wealthy old tycoons all along the eastern seaboard, till they were eventually caught trying to smuggle 200 mink coats and 60 gallons of whiskey across the Canadian border in a bus disguised as nuns. But don't kid yourself, these girls were no pushovers. Papa Harker has invited a mob boss from Chicago to the game. Some guy named Ray Big Noise Carlisle had just arrived. Big Noise also invited a friend of his to the game, some unstable Shylock from St. Louis named Sticks, that everyone calls the Fixer. He's completely obsessed with clothes, always has to look like he just walked out of Saks Fifth Avenue. Now, when Sticks finally shows up, the game got underway. Cards hit the air and the chips started hitting the table. The drinks were flowing, the canaries were singing, and everything seemed peachy until Sticks suddenly accused Papa Harker of cheating. Well, needless to say, things started to get heated real quick. McTavish jumps up to defend his boss, and Sticks stands up and goes for his .45. All of a sudden, in busts Detective Dan Romano and his unsteady deputy Elwood. Luckily for Harker, Romano has been on his payroll for years. Gun in hand, Romano gets the drop on Sticks and stops him cold. Harker tells Romano,
"These guys was trying to give us the breeze because they said we was cheating. Good thing you got here when you did, detective. I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't shown up."
Romano decides to run them both in, but Sticks isn't planning on going quietly, so Romano decides to use a little friendly persuasion in the form of a Tommy gun to the head, and it's good night nurse for the Fixer. Well, I didn't find Monroe that night, but it wasn't a total loss. I did get invited to play some late-night parcheesi with the girls. I told them I'd stop in again when I had more time. Oh, who am I, you ask? No one of any real importance. Just some guy telling a story. Another poor schmuck trying to make his way through the grit and grime of the dirty 30s. Thanks for listening.